I'm giving myself just 1 hour with just eRank, Playground AI, and Printify to create something awesome for a new shop that my wife and I are creating. And we're going to show you everything behind the scenes with it as well. You're going to see the shop, you're going to see the listings we create, and we're going to see how it goes over time. The goal is going to be to create a top selling Etsy item without copying, no templates, no tracing, and no copyright drama. Just smart research, a simple plan, and good, clean design. Because let's be real, everybody tells you not to copy, but nobody teaches you how to create something original that still sells. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I validated the demand for this kind of design with eRank. We're going to design it in Playground, and how I create that listing inside of Printify, and why I do it the way I do. So the first thing we're doing here is going right into eRank, and the first page you kind of end up in is the dashboard here. I'm just going to go right here into the trends drop down, and we're going to look at trend buzz. So the first thing I'm doing here, first stop, I'm making sure that we've got the past 30 days selected here, which is by default. Then I'm just going to do something super simple for starters. So we're going to look at products first. So what is the top selling product? Shirt. So that's what I'm going to go with in this case. Recipient, dad. So we're going to go with men. Keeping it really simple here. Styles, what could work for, we got floral and summer. Both of those could work, right? Those Hawaiian type shirts kind of thing. So summer shirts for dad could totally work here. So floral and summer. I'm going to go with both of those. So we've got floral, summer, dad, shirts. So that almost sounds like a long tail keyword right there, right? That simple. Next up, we're going to go over to Etsy. So looking at summer shirts here, we've got summer vibes, sunset stuffs. I kind of like this idea of the ghost in a floaty, hot ghoul summer. Well, here we are, we got some summer floral stuff. That's an interesting print. Liking the beach type stuff. This looks awesome. I'm going to command click on you. We've got Summerween here, so I'm just going to take a peek here and see what we're dealing with. In demand, 2 people bought this in the last 24 hours. Now we're talking. Just waiting for Halloween. This is awesome. Looking at the tags here. We got spooky summer, summer Halloween, ghost summer, Summerween. Look at this. Search volume and competition. So this is actually something I already have in our trend report that we have inside my membership. So if you're already in there, you've probably already seen it by now, but this kind of trend is on fire. I just wanted to see what the updated stats we're looking at today. So we're still only seeing relatively tiny competition here at 3,000, and the search volume is through the roof right now, and it's only going to trend upwards as we get deeper into summer now, right? We're only in June still, but again, like this floaty here, you got speaking to all the Halloween vibes, but we're looking at retired, kind of lounging, lazy looking, like, right? Not much going on here, right? Pretty much just sitting there till you die. So pretty funny. Continuing on, we've got some taboo, some risque stuff. Just seeing if we have anything's kind of consistent pop-ups. We got another Summerween one here, but this is more the idea. So you got an older guy chilling on a beach. I like the retired thing. I think that'll work out well with our shop because it's going to be geared to getting kind of, stranded on a beach, but intentionally. It's going to be all about the vibe that we have kind of down here living on a Caribbean island in Belize here. So looking at that, let's search up now retired shirt. So we've got not my problem anymore, official retired, not my problem anymore, retired. I do what I want when I want, loving it. Blur's Day, this is great. When you are not sure what day of the week it is, see also retirement. I do what I want when I want. This doesn't make any sense. Living wild, free, and feral since 2025. So we got a bestseller and we got a popular now. Looking at the bestseller here, it's in 20 carts. That's huge. It's only 5 months old. It's already got 37 sales. In my experience, these numbers are actually estimated kind of low. Looking at the favorites here, you got 95 favorites. It's in 20 carts. And let's look at our other one. So 5 o'clock somewhere in 20 carts as well. It's a bestseller. 1,677 favorites. Last listed on June 26th, and that means it's sold today as well. Old. This has been around for a long time. If you divide this by 365, you're looking at, what is that, 4 years almost, give or take? Actually, probably pretty close to bang on. Do the math and let me know. But it's 5 o'clock everywhere. I'm retired. This is great in terms of, a phrase. It's still in 20 carts and this thing is selling like crazy. So just because it's an old listing, I'm not one of those people that is going to shy away from something that might be 4 or 5 or 6 years old, right? There's always room for improvement and there's always room to kind of build on stuff like that. I don't want to just, copy new listings or, do things like that. I want to take bits and pieces of the recipe and find out why this is selling, right? So in this case, it's 5 o'clock everywhere. I'm retired. This has been going strong probably because it was one of the first to market with this phrase, right? The design is simple. It's clear. You can see it a mile away. If we look here, you've got a bunch of shirts here. This thing just jumps right out, right? The contrast here kind of sucks compared to this one. This one doesn't look amazing at all. And then this is a little busy, overdone, right? The simplicity and the clarity that you see here, you can read that. I'm sitting about, just over 18 inches away from my monitor and I can totally see that clear as day. Same with this Blur's Day one. So it's 5 o'clock everywhere and it's Blur's Day. You'd always do something like every day is Blur's Day. If we look at the tags here on this one now, so we got plus size, got beach shirts, and I'll never shy away from the competition here. So the note with the competition is just because this says 247,000 doesn't mean it's actually competition. Competition for you would be people in your actual niche that are actively selling. So in this case, this is just the amount of listings out there that fit these keywords. Like funny shirt. I'll never stop selling funny shirts, and there's apparently 3 million here, right? Dad shirt, 460,000. Retirement gift. So this to me is good. We've got retirement gift here, up over 2,000 in terms of searches. So in this case, I'm looking for something obviously in our niche, which is kind of like that maroon sort of beachy vibe to it. But then our ideal customer in there now is that retired man. And the other thing it needs to be is giftable. So it's not only something that makes sense for the niche and everything, but it's something that they would either feel proud to wear themselves, or it's something that, tugs on the emotional heartstrings enough to make people want to give it as a gift, because it is a monumentous occasion when somebody retires. And the third piece of the puzzle here is that it's not an overly complicated design. More is not better. You've heard the term less is always more. It absolutely rings true every single time. So looking at this here, for example, now I'm just going to go over to retirement t-shirt, just click on this and it'll populate in eRank. So here we are right in eRank here, and it's nice and clear. It gives you, the same snapshot we just had, but it tells us here the visible portion. So that's the first part in search results that you can see. Retirement t-shirt, summer outfit, beach tee. So now looking at the tags here, we've got all kinds of green lights here for me. The most important parts for me are this click-through rate right here. So we've got retirement shirts. Look at this. So we have April and May big trend volume here. So you're about a 30-day delay on this stuff. So you're not going to see June searches for another few days. But look at this click-through rate. This is just super validating right now. So 100% would mean like, if somebody's searching for retirement shirts, for every time they search that and it comes up in the search results, they're clicking on it, right? So 1 for 1 is 100% of the time. So in this case, people are clicking on more than one result, or maybe the same result more than one time. I've got vacation shirt here, retirement gift again, and dad shirt. So this is like all of it right at the top here. We've got retirement shirts, retirement gift, dad shirt, even vacation shirt here. So beach shirts, another one. These are all on fire right now. And the other thing that is important to note here is these top three. So we got retirement shirts, vacation shirt, and retirement gift. These are used in the listing description as well. So we got fun shirts, beach shirts too. So in this particular listing, it's showing up in the description, which means that it's indexed by Google as well, right? So that's kind of helping it, get some outside of Etsy traffic. So doing a time check here, we're literally at 11 and a half minutes. Like this is how fast it is, right? I'm not doing anything overly complicated here, and I'm not spending too much time going down crazy rabbit holes like I sometimes do. It's just not necessary when you kind of have an idea of a niche that you want to sell in, right? Because everything has to fit a particular ideal customer. And I used one of my GPTs that I actually came up with to give us a few for our shop, one of which is the retired beach bum who may be living abroad. So there's so much you can do here with eRank, but everything color-coded at a glance just kind of makes it idiot-proof, right? And that's sort of been my MO. I do have links for all of this stuff down below for sure, so make sure you check that out. You can try eRank for free. They also have a very cheap, like $5.99 plan too, so easy to do to get your feet wet, right, with all of this data. And one of the nice things you got here is you can see the stuff like popping off, right? So 12,770 searches in just May, and this is the kind of, ramping up that we want to see, right? And all of this data just came from one single listing. So if we go back to our dashboard here, I just want to show you guys something. Oh, and shameless plug, the eRank blog here that you can see going down, they got all kinds of stuff going on here. I'm actually looking at being a regular contributor to this on a monthly basis. So I'm going to be pretty much talking about, the entrepreneurial mindset as it relates to print on demand. But more importantly, I actually want to show you a bit more keyword data here. So if we were going to look at, so I would go to the new keyword tool, enter the keyword here. Even when I'm designing for something on Amazon merch, like I did in this video here, I used eRank for it, but you can definitely check Amazon listings as well. So you even have Kindle and books and Audible and stuff, but you can search on Amazon proper, Facebook Marketplace, even eBay, all the other, major marketplaces there as well. But I'm just going to stick with Etsy now. So just retirement shirt. We saw earlier that I had 130% click-through rate. I'm just coming down here and it's giving us, some related keywords here. So we got retirement shirts. I'm only looking now for potential other ones that we could put into the retirement niche here. And we got firefighter retirement shirt. Average click-through rate is almost 1-for-1 at 91%. Teacher shirt, fishing shirt, grandma. So you can do retirement, fisherman shirt, grandfather shirt. There's lots. Retirement shirt for men. So there's lots of options here that we can kind of, do some things for, right? So it's not necessarily a vacation shirt or a fishing shirt anymore. It's retired and fishing or retired on permanent vacation, right? All of those things like that. But now that we got the vibe, the niche, and the product type covered, it's time to go into Playground and get designing. So this is what Playground looks like when you get in here, and the first thing I like to do when I get in here is come down to what's new. They're always adding stuff here. So they've got ad templates now. So if you needed to run some ads on, if you're, for your Shopify store or whatever you're doing, you want to run ads on Facebook or Instagram Reels, that kind of thing, or any kind of swipe files, you can create them here with this for your social media, which is pretty cool. And what they added only 3 weeks ago are way more fonts to customize, right? So you can just scroll for days on these fonts now, which is awesome. They did have a limited sort of amount before, but they've added lots more. So 56 premium new fonts. And you can, sort of scroll down the list there and see whatever it is that you want to get updated on. But going right into here, the first thing I'm going to do is, what do you want to design today? So I'm just going to type t-shirt and see what we have already. So you can take any one of these and turn it into something else. Or you can type your own prompt down here. So we already look like we have a lot of summer looking stuff here. Good vibes only. Can make this retired, salty babes, beach club, weekend vibes. Here we go. Enjoy life, make waves, shine bright. It's got some inspirational stuff. We got chill here, the penguin. Stay salty. I think that has a trademark, so I'd be careful about that one. Salt water heals everything. This is something that would be right up the alley for our shop. Camp vibes only. Could be, beach vibes only. Retirement kind of thing that way. Mamacita needs a margarita. These are great. But I'm just going to go up here and I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So we got good vibes only. Make him in a hammock. And the nice thing about a skeleton is that it already looks obviously aged, so we don't have to worry about changing, the demographic of the human in this particular case. Just going to see what it spits out here. And by default, it's using ChatGPT's 4.0 image generator here. Good vibes only. Look at that. Now we can say, add every day is Blur's Day at the bottom. You can see here that you can choose Playground's native AI, so it's faster and more images, or you can go high quality and precise editing. I'm going to leave it as this right now. Good vibes only, every day is Blur's Day. And as you hover over here, you can get this icon here that you can tap or click onto to report issues here. Make the top text retired. It's that easy. The font is clear and legible. You can tell it's a skeleton in a hammock. He's got, a little summer beanie kind of thing going on here. Got his fruity cocktail here. and it's on a light colored shirt because yes, skeletons and this kind of thing always look cool on dark shirts, but when you're out on the beach, you're not going to be wearing a dark, colored item, even if you're in the shade. Just to get from, your hotel or wherever you're staying over to the hammock, you have to go through the sun and it's blistering hot down here, right? And when we're done with this one, we come to export. We want to upscale by 4x, leave that toggled, but we can upscale and remove the background all at once. And you'll see this change down here. So it's working. And yes, I'll leave a link down below so you can try Playground out for free. It's pretty fun to toy around with. And there we are. And now I can download the upscale. And I can just pull this over here. And you can see now that it's, if I hold it over my face here, you can see that the background has been removed there. But I also wanted to show you, so if we went over to create now and just go to t-shirt, I could just type something in like retired not expired and see what happens. The only instructions I've given it now are t-shirt, and I just put retired not expired, so I haven't told it to do anything else. Look at that. Are you guys seeing this? Somehow it knew to put a man retired in flip-flops in a hammock between two palm trees and with the words retired not expired. That's pretty awesome. I didn't give it any other instructions. I haven't even cut this part of the video here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And now we could try, I don't want to ruin this, so I'm definitely going to keep that one, but also because you can always just go back and forth here, I'm just going to say make it a pirate. Just to give it a little more edgier feel here. And this island I'm on is called Key Cocker because it's literally where they would caulk ships back in the day. It was initially called Key Corker because they would plug all the holes from getting ruined on the reef after pirate ships were kind of like going through battles and stuff like that, right, between here and the Bahamas. So super interesting history here. And it's super inspiring, right? If you've ever watched movies like The Goonies, that's kind of part of the reason why I'm here. Most favorite movie of all time. And it just kind of sparks something, right? The fascination with the pirate life and that kind of thing. So here we are wishing we could be marooned or shipwrecked pirates, right? Well, me anyway, and my wife is more on the mermaid end of things. Look at that. Retirement not expired. Okay, so we got to change the font here. Retired not expired. There we go. This thing looks awesome. He looks like he's holding a treasure map of some sort. He's got his chalice drink there. And the nice thing about this is that it's so simple. It's so easy. The colors are a little muted. It speaks to the coolness of the piratey life, being retired and kind of shipwrecked or marooned. But at the same time, it's, not too rigid or rugged enough that it still wouldn't appeal to the partner of the retiree, right? Maybe his wife or something or partner would find it fun enough and cute enough to buy as a gift. You want to evoke that emotion from the person, from the recipient, and from the people in the room, not just the recipient, right? So when somebody's showing you this that they unwrap, you want everybody to crack, a little bit of a smile, a smirk, or a laugh. And then the other thing you want is when you're walking down the street, or in this case, barefoot on the beach to your hammock, you want people to say, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Or awesome shirt. That's exactly the reaction you want to get out of people every single time. So now, same idea here. I'll upscale and remove background. And we are now at 29 minutes. And we are doing really good on time, I think. You know what? Cancel that, because I'm looking at this now. It doesn't look like a treasure map. Make him holding a treasure map. That's awesome. That looks way more like a treasure map here. You got a giant X on it, but at least you got some lines on it now. Looks awesome. You also do have all of these options down here, so you can resize, you can import an image as well, change the color palette, put in a mock-up, change the face style only. Like, how cool is that, right? Change style. So let's try to change style. So let's say we're looking at something more like this. We can just click on that, and it's going to take the exact same design we had, but give it a different style now. It looks more like a vector illustration, I think, from that kind of small thumbnail. Look at that. That looks awesome. Retired, not expired. It's got everything right. Way more pop of color in this one. And if we go back to the other one, definitely use case for both of these. He's got the bandana on and red glasses here. Striped shirt, belt buckle. Maybe we could say on this one, make him a skeleton. And since those two were very similar, I'm going to change this one now, but that'll be 3 unique designs done that aren't out there. We took some inspiration from a lot of stuff out there. We validated the search volume and demand for them with eRank, and now we're just creating some awesome stuff. And you can keep designing like this with the same design style, so your shop designs are all going to have more of a a cohesive element, right? So when people come to your shop, the idea is that you can have them come to know what to expect when they get there, right? This looks awesome. So if I go back to now, so we've got this guy as more, subdued kind of faded sort of muted artwork here. And then you've got this one, which is pretty awesome. And actually we could probably just use both of these. But if you wanted something that was, a little more subdued, you also have this kind of thing, right? Which I think would do very well on the Amazon merches of the world, for example. You're first to market with a pirate in a hammock holding a treasure map on a beach with it saying retired, not expired. And in this case, I think this one would do super well on our standalone shop and as well as Etsy for sure. A little more in depth here. It's cool. It sticks out at a glance, and then you can see the skull face. All the details you look at a little later, but it's got the chalice here alluding to the treasure. It's got the treasure map and the bird sitting on top. So the only other thing we need to do now is create our product in Printify. So same idea, gonna come here, upscale and remove background, and head over to Printify. So in Printify here, I'm just coming over to catalog, gonna look at t-shirts, and my favorite is the Gildan 64,000, but I think for this shop, we're gonna stick to comfort colors because they are the most popular shirt at the moment. I'm gonna choose manually here. And I like to typically sort by production time. Historically, it's always been Monster Digital. Nice to see them come down here. They were up to 2.3 days, I think, because of the Father's Day rush that happened a couple weeks ago. So now they've kind of come back down. So I'm confident that I can go with them here. I'm just going to go with Start Designing. And then the nice thing I wanted to show you is that when we download this, I didn't change this name. So this is perfect for the alt tags in your listing photos in Etsy. Cheerful pirate skeleton relaxing in a hammock at sunset. This isn't necessarily what you would type into a search bar, but it's definitely something that you would put in your alt tags for your images on Etsy for people who might be, visually impaired, because it pretty accurately describes what the image itself is. In this case, I'm just going to drag and drop this on here. This is how easy it is to create something here. Got retired, not expired. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger here. I like to fill the box. I've only twice in 12 years of selling print on demand had anyone say the print was too big, but I have had more than a handful say, some of the times the design was too small. So I always err on the side of caution, especially so you can avoid, downscaling things, because your print provider will not scale upwards, but they will always scale a design down to fit the smaller sizes. So you always want to make sure you're starting with the biggest, most possible kind of size, right? So that's my best practice. Feel free to size it as you will. I'll select the variants here. We can leave white. I think I'm gonna add pepper as well, just because it looks cool. Mustard. Mustard could work, not loving it. I think butter will work. Moss is kind of cool for sure. The chalky mint, beachy vibes, right? Blossom, maybe watermelon. Don't love blossom. Watermelon, not quite. Flow blue. Blue jean. I think the blue jean works over the flow blue. Yam could work. Complements the shirt. Crimson. Don't love it. Yam. Don't love it. So we're going to stick with 1, 2, 3. I think I like bay as well. That looks really cool. Light green. Nope. Blue jean, chalky mint, moss, bay, butter, pepper, and white. I'm not even going to look down here because as soon as you just click the color, it automatically selects all sizes. So small to 3XL here. I'm just going to save product. And if you want, you could look at some of these to illustrate colors here, but I'm not even going to bother with the mockups here because as much as I like the clarity of some of this stuff, I think we can make some really good mockups in Playground proper here. So if I went to put in mockup, for example, let's put white t-shirt. Here we go. So here we are. It plopped it right on top of the shirt, actually in a size that I think works perfectly for this. It's about getting the sales on it. So this would be the kind of thing I would do, right? Is go through here. You can also drop in your own shirt and plop it on there and ask it to kind of merge the two. But back in Printify here, all I would do is save selection. Let's just call it RNE 001 for retired, not expired 001 in case I do a few iterations of this. That's what I'll call the artwork. We're not going to push anything over to Etsy. We can just come into our other orders tab later and pick the design, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So we're just going to save this as this and save as draft. So we're not going to worry about any of this stuff. We're not going to worry about any of the tags, and we're going to save as draft. So now we've got our product in here. So what happens then when an order comes into Etsy, right? So I would create the listing in Etsy, and because we're niche, every time I create another listing in Etsy, all I have to do is duplicate that listing, and most of the keywords and probably half the title is going to stay the same because it's all kind of, geared to the same niche market, right? The only thing we're changing now are things like the retired element versus the summer vibes element, or retired not expired, just a couple of things in there, right? The rest of the overarching niche is going to stay the same, and therefore so is the design elements, and a lot of the fonts we're going to pick, and we're going to stick to, relatively speaking, a similar or same amount of colors across the board for brand cohesion. We want everything to look and feel familiar every time somebody comes back to the shop. So all you have to do is duplicate the listing, drag and drop your new mockups that you just created into your new listing in Etsy, and then tweak some of the SEO and your titles and tags, and that's it, and just save. It's so much faster than trying to push everything over there. And when something comes into Printify now, I'll show you how to link that design up that we just created. So I would just come in here, literally, instead of having it come in here, if it was already populated in your regular Printify orders tab, for the first time, it'll come into your other orders tab. Then I would just click on here. It wouldn't have a product populated here. It wouldn't have anything attached yet. So I would just click on my products. I would select this, and in this case it's saying Abella and black, but in this case, let's say it said bay in medium. So I would click on bay, then I would click on medium, and then right here I would say automatically import orders with this product variant. That's it. I'd click on this and I would confirm, and that's it. So every time that order comes in, this product will be attached to it now, so you don't have to do that ever again. There's no SKUs to deal with that people want to tell you, that you need to copy and paste all of this stuff and move things over. None of that needs to happen. It's so simple to do. Next time you're ready to list your next item, you just duplicate it in Etsy, swap out your new mockups with the new design, and Bob is your uncle. And a key takeaway here is that we're not, again, selling just t-shirts, right? We're selling the emotion. We're selling the emotion of being finally retired, sitting on a beach. Now you get to live the life that everybody aspires to, right? Like one of the shirts that we're definitely going to have in our shop is, I live where you vacation, right? Because now we're, privileged enough to be where people pay to come visit all the time. We get to live here, right? So why this works is that eRank gives you real-time proof of demand, right? And then Playground helps you create the visual that'll actually sell based on all your research kind of put together in this culmination of awesome sauce. And Printify, with their Printify Premium, allow for some serious margins because you control the pricing at the end of the day, right? People complain about the margins on look for products with higher margins. You control the margins. You set the prices. If you can evoke those emotions and tug on the heartstrings, people will come, people will pay, people will leave you the 5-star reviews, and they'll come back to buy more because you are now the go-to for that type of gift. And Printify lets you launch products quick without overthinking them. So if you want to try Printify Premium, you can try it for free down below too, and you will get the discounted rates here. You'll save $30 for the month, but you'll also be able to leverage these prices here at $10.89 as opposed to what would be $12.19, right? You're gonna save $1.30 on every single t-shirt sold here, and more so when you hit the bigger sizes here. So the psychology here is that people buy something they recognize, right? Like that whole, vacation MO, but they also want to buy something they haven't quite seen before. This method hits both. You're using proven data and research to anchor your designs for what works, and you're letting AI and your creativity kind of shine to create something new and exciting for the niche. That's the combo. And once you learn how to spot winning designs and what makes them actual winners, you're going to be able to remix them into your own brand. And from that point on, it gets easier to build consistent sales without copying, without burning out, and without second guessing yourself. You can just create, move forward, and reiterate. And all that, and we're coming up on 52 minutes, so you guys could definitely get way faster at this. I think if I wasn't explaining this, I'd probably be closer to the 25-minute mark, honestly. And we would have had, 2 or 3 designs created on mockups and listed in about half an hour. So we're looking at, close to 10 minutes a pop here. The research takes up a good portion of the time, but once you have that, we were just able to create designs in minutes with Playground. It's literally that simple. All that said, let me know what you think down below. Please leave me a comment, share this with somebody who might find value in it, and give me a subscribe if you have the time or care to see more of this stuff. See you in the next one.